GGL.com. If you missed it, you can watch the entire episode there. Once again, that's upallnight.ggl.com. And you know what? Right away, I'm gonna ask the world famous Robert Suma if he would create a forum thread on Epileptic Gaming, because we'd love to know. I mean, if you guys remember, we created a thread about the Halo 3 Up All Night when we finished it, and you guys gave us a lot of good feedback. And I hope that, you know, by looking at the second episode, that you see that we legitimately listen and react to this feedback, because I think that Up All Night is sort of shaping it up to be the product that we really wanted it to be. And, you know, maybe Halo 3 didn't show it, but I had a shitload of fun filming that one. And, you know, the game isn't one that I'm going to tell you to run out to the store and buy right now, but you can see the type of fun you have it, especially if you're Robert Suma. And I got to give that boy mad props, because you saw him in character that whole fucking time. He was in character the whole time. From the moment he put on those shorts, he was Baron von Bismarck. It was amazing. It really was amazing. So we got Force, right? Force, I want to hear
I'm still here, guys.
What'd you think of that, Force?
I thought it was pretty funny. I can't believe you got Rance and Suma to both suffer through a whole night of Mario Sonic to make that video. That's probably the most amazing thing.
You know, the beauty of it, and I think one of the things that speaks really loudly about the Wii, is that there was always an event that one of us was best at. So, you know, for whatever reason, I could school all the other guys in swimming. Like, it was not an issue. But, like, Suma was actually pretty good at trampoline for whatever reason. And Mood won the fencing. And then, like, Rance owned the skeet shooting at the beginning. And then he won, like, an entire series of events. So, you know, it wasn't like anyone was the loser either. And that's something to be said about a game where you're just trying to get together with your buddies, and one guy's never going to, you know, fail at life so bad that he's going to go back and slit his virtual wrists with the Wiimote. But I had fun. There you go. Up All Night Episode 2. What's next for Up All Night? Well, I'm sure something crazy and out of the ordinary like what you just saw. And with that being said, what you are about to hear may completely shock you, ladies and gentlemen.
Uh-oh.
That's right. I am about to back up the Nintendo Wii.
What?
That's right. That's right. All right. So this is how it goes. So some dumb bitch at the Washington Post was probably having a slow news day the other day. So, reaching for some sort of controversial yet thought-provoking attempt at journalism, Monica Hess of the Washington Post decided to bring up a point that, in my opinion, has been beat like a dead horse. She claims that Nintendo's Wii Zapper peripheral is too gun-like and will likely generate backlash. Okay, well, this dumb cunt was obviously oblivious to the fact that Nintendo has had other gun-like peripherals that rivaled the Wii Zapper in terms of gun realism. I mean, let's take the NES Zapper. We all remember this one. A lot of the Nintendo Entertainment Systems were actually, you know, packaged with it. That was pretty much a gun. Like, it was the most realistic, I think, you know, video game gun for its time. It looked like a gun. It held like a gun. It shot ducks like a gun. It was, you know, it was essentially a gun. And there was press and people. I remember hearing about a story, and whether it's urban, you know, whether it's an urban myth or not. And Forrest, you tell me if you remember this one. You remember the story about, you know, and it's gone on for generations, but a kid was 13, had a Nintendo Zapper from the NES, and he pulled it out on a cop, and that cop unloaded fucking 9 rounds into the dude's skull. And that's why you shouldn't have guns with video games. You remember this story, Forrest? Like,
I was going to say, I think we've heard that story with everything that's ever resembled a gun.
Exactly. Exactly. So how about the Super Nintendo Super Scope? You know, that was like giving a 10-year-old a fucking rocket launcher. You had to like hold it like this. Like, all right, guys, what's up? You know, good thing it was gray and white and red. But I have to back Nintendo on this one and say, you know, they say Nintendo officially says, we do not think that this even really looks like a gun. It is a utility that allows for more diverse styles of play. And you know what? I think this is a great stance for Nintendo to take. Unfortunately, dumb fucking kids like this 14-year-old say, I think it's going to make it feel like you're actually holding a gun in real life. It'll change everything about FPS. Yes, that is an exact quote from a 14-year-old.
Jobber.
Yeah, I mean, what they didn't tell me if this kid had, you know, some sort of mental issues that I should know about or what. But look at the picture. There you see it right there on your screen. It looks nothing like a real gun, nor will it feel like a real gun. I guarantee it. So press, media, journalists, lay off Nintendo. They are doing a good job of making a system for kids right now. And I believe this is the most non-looking gun accessory that Nintendo has ever made, especially when you consider the original Zapper and the fucking Super Scope, right? So here's one final piece of food for thought. Back in the day when retailers stripped toy guns from their Christmas inventory, I'm talking about like the Red Ryder BB guns, you know? When you know, Cameron, it was like okay for a 10-year-old to be like, I want a BB gun for Christmas. And it was around 1968, you know, 1970.
Dude, I got guns for Christmas.
You did?
Even in the 80s, brother.
See, that's because you're from the South.
I'm from the South,
dude.
and shooting things is
So,
normal.
Hasbro's then chief exec said this, and I just think that this is good fucking game right here. He says this: I find it fascinating how we can legislate toy guns, but we can't even legislate real guns.
That's like...
Booyah! Thank you. You know, and then you got some other jackass who's like, maybe we should just give an NRA, you know, sign-up sheet card in every single Wii Zapper accessory that we sell.
Wow.
You know, bitch, shut the fuck up. I got Nintendo's back on this one. I think it's a smart, you know, utility accessory to release. I think they did a fantastic job of not only incorporating the two pieces of the Wiimote, but I feel like it's probably the furthest thing away from a gun as it could possibly be.
Dude,
call me crazy.
That thing looks like some gay-ass Star Trek zapper.
Right, exactly. Force. I mean, you got to be cheering, at least at some level, for the fact that this is a Nintendo Wii story that didn't start out with me saying, the Wii's graphics suck ass.
Dude,
what are your
during
thoughts
Up All
on
Night
this?
video, you mentioned how you liked some of the controls that were present during that Mario and Sonic game. Right there, I sort of flipped out. Now I'm getting it twice in one night. I think you're finally starting to come around little bit by little bit.
Well, you'll notice that I did put the little punch in there because it wouldn't be a complete article without me getting a little dig where it said, you know, they're doing a good job of making a system for kids. I don't know if you heard that part. I just got in my jab. But anyway, we've heard this debate before, Forrest. We've heard this one 1,000 times. I mean, is there anything different this time around? I really feel like this lady was just almost looking to make controversy out of something that really isn't there.
I agree with you. That's definitely slumming the depths for something newsworthy because it looks nothing like a gun at all.
It doesn't.
It just blows me away.
It doesn't. So, guys, I'm giving Nintendo some help here, some assistance. I think it's bullshit if they get called out for this. And you know what? I think it's probably going to fall off the radar because I did not see a large amount of, you know, news sources, corporations going after this article. Now, that's not to say that, like, it will happen in the upcoming months. I mean, surely someone is going to do something fucking stupid with that Wii Zapper, like actually make a gun out of it, because I guess that's what people do. But I think it's just like
Nintendo's
beating
fault,
a dead
though.
horse.
Yeah.
No, it's not. It's not. And again, they did a really good job. It's not like the thing is metal, weighs 5 pounds, has a clip, you know. It's white. And effectively, the thing is a piece of, it's like 2 pieces of plastic. I mean, yeah, it helps you aim better with a system that inherently has issues aiming. All right, guys. I played some Crysis this weekend.
Ooh.
You know, and we've been getting a lot of emails from people about, you know, how come you haven't talked about Crysis? DJ Wheat, you talked about Crysis a million shows ago and now you're not saying shit. You know, is there something we don't know? You know, the bottom line is that I didn't feel like I had a computer that could run it. But 2 things happened this weekend. A, I got to play it on a very, very, very cool system, like a beefy quad-core, 8800 GTX SLI system, and it blew my socks off. In fact, it blew my socks off so much that I installed it on my laptop, and I was surprised that my laptop on fairly low settings not only still looked good, but played reasonably well. So I am looking forward to Playthrough Crisis. I did play some multiplayer. I did play some Power Struggle, and I have to admit, it was fun. There was something fun about, being able to switch to various suit modes and, maybe like run around and use your super strength to punch people in the face, or be running away from an opponent and flip on your super jump and jump into the air and evade away. There's a lot to this game, and I feel like because of all the other games that came out that it sort of dropped a little off my radar, but after getting some hands-on this weekend with it for the first time, mind you, I'm really excited to play through the entire thing. Now, I've found out a little bit more about the story, and I've got to experience sort of the openness of the game. But Force, you also had an opportunity to check out Crysis. What are your first thoughts on it?
You did. You bitches giving us shit and sticka made me finally go out and get it. PC games you can get incredibly cheap, but I like the fact I'm playing it on medium setting. Part of my, what do you say, uber graphicsness is kind of bummed out I'm not seeing it in all of its glory, but
right.
Even in medium settings, the game is still totally playable, totally enjoyable, and looks, unbelievable.
It still looks good.
I could only imagine what it looks like on this quad core you were saying you got to see it
dude,
on.
I mean, imagine if you never had to worry about dumbing your graphics down because your box could handle it. It was that kind of a box. And it was amazing. I mean, quite honestly, just getting to play the game in that respect. And it's a little sad because I feel like, EA and Crytek have given us a game that not as many people are going to experience as they should. Now, maybe this will be one of those timeless games like Half-Life, where as people's computers start to catch up with them, they'll hop all over it. But, there was a lot of things that I sort of saw about this game, Force. Like, for example, here's a piece of originality from Crysis that really just had me going, you know what, that is awesome. Like, it's awesome that they considered that and took it into account. But the difficulty levels, you play on easy, normal, advanced, or like super tough, right?
Delta.
So Delta, that's what it is. So the normal difficulty is pretty much what you would expect.